Schiit SYS. That is a product we're reviewing today, the Schiit SYS by, you guessed it, Schiit. This right here is it's very easy to explain product. It's really not going to be a long video. This one's going to be pretty short and kind of self-explanatory. It is a switch, the end. But it does have a bit of features here that I will go over so that you know exactly why you should get this above any other switch out there in the market. This one's up there. It's priced at around $50 right now, which is higher than some other switches that I've seen that you can get for probably like 30, 35, I think like 40 bucks. So I'd advise going with this one over other switches because of this. Let's start with what it offers here. The I/O. You have 2 ins and 1 out, or alternatively, 1 in and 2 outs. So you can reverse it that way. And it does, it's only RCA, by the way, as you can obviously see. But it's a good thing to know that it is reversible, because if for whatever reason your needs change as the months or years go by, you can very easily do so and it wouldn't be a problem whatsoever. So these 2 knobs right here, this one on the left is a volume knob, but it doesn't necessarily amplify anything or, de-amplify anything at all. It is simply a volume knob. It just quiets something, or if you set it to the max, it is at 100% of its capacity. It's not amplifying anything. It's just saying whatever amount of intensity was coming from the source is whatever this thing is permitting right here. It's just not making the source any quieter whatsoever. Now, on the other hand, you set it to like 50, 75% more or less, then it's making your source a little bit quieter. But what I'm trying to explain here is that as opposed to an amplifier or something like that, it isn't making something louder. It is simply making something quieter, or letting it be exactly as it is. There is no modification or amplification happening to your source material whatsoever, which I find to be a good thing, because I worry about amplification just because too much amplification and too many things in your chain amplifying something leads to distortion and to muddiness of the sound, which is something that, well, obviously you're paying hundreds of dollars for the audio gear. You don't want all of these advantages to turn into disadvantages as time goes by. Anyways, so I tend to keep this around 75% just because that is perfect for my system, to the point where if on my X7S I tend to keep things quiet, well, actually, not the X7S. Yeah, if I tend to keep things quiet on the X7S, then this will be quiet. But if I tend to turn it up, then it, like to say 80, 90%, that is all I will need. I won't need to turn it up anymore. But of course, I can decide to just limit how much it mutes, set it to 100, and I got more volume if I need to. Thankfully, I don't. The second thing right here, this is the switch. By the way, I should mention both of these knobs, or actually this knob and this switch, feel amazing. I mean, 50 bucks for this type of construction is just amazing. This thing, it feels like a tank. This thing, it's made out of metal. I mean, this is aluminum, I believe. It's built like a tank and it's 50 bucks. For what it does, it's freaking fantastic. So this right here is for your input 1, which is what's connected right here, or your output 1, however you've got it going on, like Stacy's mom. And then you switch it, as in inside, and it goes to output or input 2, however you got it set it up. However you have it set up is what I meant to say. That's it. You just switch back and forth. So in my particular setup, the way I have it set is I have my SU8. I'll put this here on the side. I have my SU8 right here. And through RCAs, I have it hooked up to the Aune X7S. And then through RCAs from that, I have it hooked up to the SYS through here on the out. But instead of out, it's going in, of course. And then I have it set out RCA through the out, or well, the in to my JBL LSR 30X speakers, or well, monitors, studio monitors. And the reason I have it for that is just because I prefer keeping this out as much as possible, which is its natural resting position. And then if I feel like I need to use my speakers, then I do this and I use the speakers. So obviously, what happens when it's out like this and you have nothing connected here? Well, it's trying to output stuff through here, but it's not outputting anything, obviously, because you don't have anything connected. And that's just the way it is. So instead of switching between two out sources for my uses, I have it like, do I want to play speaker? Yes, no. Yes, no. And that's it. So this doesn't just have the use case of 2 inputs to 1 output or 1 input to 2 outputs. You also have the choice to use this as a toggle for your speakers if your amp doesn't have that, which I've noticed that a lot of amps actually don't have that feature going on, except for Schiit, which I'm glad Schiit has that. When you connect headphones, the pre-outs to your speakers shut off, and that's really cool. But most other amps like the AAA 789, my X7S, and other amps that I've seen out there at the higher price ranges don't have the cutoff for the preamp. They just have a pass-through, which, well, it's good. You know, pass-through is good. It's just that, well, now I need to buy a separate unit. So this is where this baby came in handy, and it's a small thing. You know, you can see my hand there. It's a very small unit. It's not a big deal. And in exchange, you're getting that functionality, you're getting the toggle, or you're getting the 1 to 2 switch, and it's a very convenient unit. And like I said, the best part of all is that it won't dirty your signal. It won't make anything distort whatsoever, because it isn't really an electrical component. It's not like digital. It's just a straight up analog. It is a train track that divides. You can choose whether it goes left or right, or vice versa. Two train tracks that meet up, and you can choose which you want to allow to go in. And that's all it is. It's a fantastic little unit, and I do recommend it. Yeah, that's it.